Verse 25. Now a discussion arose between some of John's disciples and a Jew over purification. Right, so here's the first baptism debate. No, that's a stupid joke as well, but I'm kind of kidding. Okay, so they discussed now this whole concept of purification. Remember, Jesus said earlier in this chapter about born of water and spirit, and I already explained that this is nothing to do. This is the effect of the spirit. The spirit purifies. Okay, so that is what the water means there. So here now they are speaking of the different meaning of water, of washing, like the real water washing, not the effect of the spirit, but the real water doing. So they have a question about physical water, like H2O. Okay, not about the work of the Spirit. Verse 26. And they came to John and said to him, Rabbi, he was with you across the Jordan, to whom you bore witness. Look, he is baptizing, and all are going to him. Okay, so here they're like, with this certain Jew discussing now purification. Then they go up to John and say, "Oh, Rabbi, this guy whom you bore witness, he's now over that side, and everyone is going to him now. I mean, you need to change your theology here, right? You need to start speaking more what people want to hear, because they are leaving you, right? If you don't change your plan here, if you don't change your plan of action here, and you don't start teaching something different what people want to hear, I mean, soon your church is going to be dead. Okay, you need to enliven your church. Bring in a guitar. I'm not against guitars in church. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But if you're doing it for the wrong reason, right? You need to bring in actors so that people will be attracted and come there to see these people, to get their hands signatures or something, like sports stars or whatever, rugby players, cricket, football players or whatever. Bring Ronaldo here so that people will then come to your service because they want to see him actually, right? And then maybe they hear a little bit about Jesus kind of idea. Okay. And that is how we do it these days. And so this is like what they're coming to John, say, hey, you bore witness about him, and now everyone is going to him, and you're losing him. You're losing it. Okay, what will be left of you soon? And so, but the question is because of purification. So how does a purification debate kind of have to do with the fact that John is kind of losing it? Okay, so while the whole idea of this purification was like the making ready the path for the coming Messiah, and John, that was his job, and so this is what he was doing, and this is now the meaning of the purification. Then ultimately, is what is going on here? Is this purification? Is this thing that John was speaking about? Does this still hold valid, or is everything that John said now invalid? How is this purification happening? Okay, and so that is ultimately led into this debate with John. All right, so the question concerning the purification, which would have been a sign of the entrance, making ready for the entrance into the kingdom, and now they're all leaving it, is either then. So what does it really all mean? What we're trying to do? Okay, so this whole debate. Verse 27. John answered, a person cannot receive even one thing unless it's given him from heaven. So the debate about the purification led to the question about everyone going to Jesus, which then ultimately leads to John's answer that, no, if it's not given to him from heaven, then he can't have it, right? He can't receive even one thing if it's not given to him from heaven. Now, that does not imply that, because we know there's big churches out there where people, millions of people or thousands of people go to these churches, tens of thousands of people go to these churches, and there's no gospel preached there except the wrong gospel, so they all go to hell. But for the grace of God. Okay. So, I mean, God allows for that. Right? So, but there's more here at play. Right? Because he's going to continue explaining ultimately what is going on. But what we see for John, it's now, he did his job, right? And he's not clinging on to this, right? He's not changing his tune just to fit in with the necessity of the day. Okay, he's still preaching the same old gospel, like I'm trying to do the same. I think the church left the gospel a long time ago, and I'm just trying to preach the same old news, old gospel. Well, no, just the gospel. Verse 28. You yourself bear with me witness that I said I'm not the Christ, but I've been sent before him. So he's saying, you heard me say I'm not the Christ, right? So it was never about me. It was never about me. I was never building my own kingdom here. How do you enter the kingdom? Being born again. He was just preparing them. He was not watching them, right? wash that Jesus, water that Jesus spoke about, that was not John's baptism, okay? So he was just preparing. This is not about him. He's not going to change what he's preaching just because he wants to keep his kingdom. He's not building his own kingdom, unlike so many pastors, missionaries, etc., right? Verse 20, yeah, so I mean, I'm not the Christ. I'm just been sent before him. Verse 21, the 29. The one who has the bride is the bridegroom. The friend of the bridegroom who stands and hears him rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. Therefore this joy of mine is now complete. So one who gets the bride or is the bridegroom, right? It's not me, okay? I'm just a friend of the bridegroom, and when the bridegroom comes, then then the bride gets a bridegroom. Then I'm glad, right? I rejoice at his voice. I'm glad he came. I mean, this is if in a normal marriage now and there, they're not our days, right? In our days, it's the bridegroom waiting for the bride, but in this days, it was the bride waiting for the bridegroom. Okay, and so when he comes, and he could come anytime. Okay, then the one who is organizing all of it, the friend of the bridegroom organizing, he's happy now because now his task is done. He can give over the bridegroom to the bride, and and his task is done. So he is rejoicing. He can sit down and he can eat and he can relax. His responsibilities is over. Right? This is basically what he's saying. So the joy of mine is now complete. Jesus, he is the bridegroom. Right? So my joy is now complete. Verse 30, he must increase, but I must decrease. That's the whole point. It's not me becoming more. It's not me building a bigger church. It's not me having a more important mission, right? It's not me, oh, look at me. I'm preaching the gospel here in Malaysia in this beautiful garden. Look at me, you know. It's not about me, okay? It's about Jesus. It's about what I'm saying, what I'm teaching. That is the important part. So for you, Christians, missionaries, wherever, it's just your ministry. Right? It's God's. It belongs to Him. So you need to rejoice. If someone else comes and he takes what you started further, praise God for that. Don't cry about it. Don't hate the other person coming. Be happy. Be grateful that this is being continued and it's growing out, because you always can take things just to a certain stage. Your children, I mean, you can teach your children, but you can't teach your children everything. Some of the time, somebody else or teachers need to come and teach them things that you can't teach them. Are you unhappy about it? No, you're supposed to be happy about it. That someone is taking them further, guiding them further in the same way here as well. It's not your mission. It's not your kingdom. You need to let God be God. It's His. It belongs to His. Like your children belongs to Him. You belong, your ministry, your everything ultimately belongs to Him. So don't cry, don't try to change your tune don't hold on to things just because you suffered, prayed so much for something. No, let go, because it's not yours, it's God's, right? Like this attitude John had. He didn't hang on to things just because he was first, right? And Jesus is younger than him and he came later. So I need to keep the people. No, he was happy. He was happy about it, that God is used him for a time and is moving it further and is giving it to somebody else. And that person will carry it further, because God knows that other person can now teach him something that you couldn't. You did everything. I remember a teacher I had at school who said he never stayed too long at the school. For example, he would teach children what he could. And the moment he feels that he starts repeating himself, then it's time for him to go, because he can't take the students any further. It becomes boring for them. So trust God. Let God be ultimately the one. Don't fight for things. Don't hold on to things. Let it go.